If India wants to send goods overland to Central Asia, the map presents a physical wall. The direct route northwest hits hostile Pakistan. To expand its reach, New Delhi redrew the map. The solution was an oceanic backdoor, bypassing Pakistan entirely. That maritime route lands directly in Iran. And as you can see reflected in these ancient Persian relief carvings, this connection relies on thousands of years of shared civilization and linguistics, tracing all the way back to early Indo-Aryan trade networks. Trapped by its own geography, India took this ancient cultural bond and engineered it into a modern mechanism for geopolitical survival. For decades, the modern alliance was built almost entirely on crude oil. Iran consistently ranked as one of India's top 3 suppliers, offering extended credit terms and incredibly low shipping costs due to their sheer physical proximity. Then, in 2018, the United States withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal, known as the JCPOA, an international agreement meant to limit Iran's nuclear capabilities. Washington immediately reinstated crippling economic restrictions on Tehran. Under a U.S. law called CAATSA, the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, any country buying Iranian oil using U.S. dollars risked having its own domestic banks heavily penalized by the American government. To protect its dollar-dependent economy and its strategic partnership with Washington, New Delhi complied. India drastically slashed its massive Iranian oil imports to practically zero. But instead of letting the relationship collapse, Indian diplomats executed a massive pivot. They shifted their focus away from extracting Iranian energy and started pouring money into building physical Iranian infrastructure. Meanwhile, Beijing was executing its own aggressive maritime strategy. China heavily financed and constructed the Gwadar port inside Pakistan, securing a commanding foothold right on the edge of the Arabian Sea. India countered by investing heavily in the Chabahar port in Iran's Sistan-Baluchistan province. This logistical hub sits barely 72 kilometers away from China's Gwadar project. Recently, New Delhi locked in a 10-year long-term operational agreement with Tehran. This guarantees India direct, uninterrupted sea access to Chabahar, completely removing Pakistan from the trade equation. The strategy pushes even further inland. India's Border Roads Organization constructed the Zaranj-Delaram Highway deep inside Afghanistan, deliberately linking the landlocked nation straight to the new Chabahar trade route. Chabahar functions as a golden gate. By controlling this specific patch of the Iranian coast, India neutralizes the geographical blockade engineered by Islamabad and Beijing. Yet Chabahar is only the entry point for a much larger logistical endgame, the International North-South Transport Corridor, or INSTC. Look at this image of massive cargo ships navigating the Suez Canal. Right now, if India wants to export goods to Russia or Europe, it has to rely on this long, expensive, and highly congested maritime bottleneck. The INSTC completely bypasses that loop. It is a massive 7,200-kilometer multimodal network combining ships, railways, and roads. Cargo travels straight from Mumbai, up through Iran and Azerbaijan, and directly into Russia and European markets. This direct overland path cuts transportation time and freight costs by 30 to 40% compared to the traditional Suez route. By establishing this highly efficient, multi-nation trade artery, India has constructed a powerful structural counter to China's expansive Belt and Road Initiative, pulling global supply chains in a new direction. But executing this plan exposes India to extreme diplomatic vulnerabilities. When severe U.S. sanctions tanked the Iranian economy, Beijing capitalized on the crisis, locking Tehran into a 25-year, $400 billion infrastructure for oil agreement. This sudden influx of Chinese capital is a direct threat to Indian interests. If Beijing's influence creeps too close to the Chabahar coastline, it could easily sabotage India's exclusive strategic access. Then there is the complex web of Middle Eastern alliances. India maintains robust, highly valuable relationships with both Israel and Iran, two nations locked in an existential rivalry. India navigates this through its de-hyphenation policy. Diplomats keep defense and agricultural partnerships with Israel strictly isolated in one silo, while managing energy and connectivity projects with Iran in another. This rigorous, nation-first balancing act allows New Delhi to extract immense value from these opposing global forces, strictly prioritizing its own economic and security needs over regional conflicts. This strategy extends directly into global governance. Today, both India and Iran sit together at major forums like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, actively diluting Western economic dominance. They are also mutually integrated into BRICS, a coalition of emerging economies working side by side to construct a multipolar financial system. New Delhi faces an immediate logistical sprint. It must finish the remaining Chabahar infrastructure, while making the case to Washington that this port is a requirement for Afghan stability, rather than a simple profit-seeking venture. Eurasia is only accessible to Iran for those who cannot go through Pakistan or the Suez. The competition between India's Chabahar and China's Gwadar is now the defining contest for the geopolitics of the 21st century.